Am I sideways? Am I crooked? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time watching me, then just welcome. This is my channel. I'm sure all of you are wondering where I've been. So I just got back to Budapest from a trip to Africa. I was in Kumasi, Ghana. Kumasi, Ghana. Okay? And this video is kind of an intro to the vlog series I have set up from that trip. I did get to film all the vlogs, make all the content and such, and then upload them once I got back. I had to do that because the Wi-Fi wasn't strong enough to upload YouTube videos there on like real time, and I didn't have time to do that anyways, so this is just how it happened. I don't think it's an issue. I hope you don't think it's an issue either. Anyways, instead of just sitting here and talking about my experience, I thought it would be much more entertaining for you and more creative for me to create a sort of short film of clips that you might see repeated in the vlogs, but the vlogs are more me talking, explaining all of the different experiences that I had there. You definitely won't see all the crazy things that I got up to in Kumasi in the short film in this video. This video is just kind of how I felt about Africa as a whole, impressions that I had, maybe misconceptions that I had that were cleared up once I'd been there, and just what it was really like. So that's what this short film is going to be about, and the vlogs you should definitely check out because that's going to be me actually in Africa, what I got up to, and I don't want to spoil anything, but some of the stuff was insane. So subscribe for that, or just, you know, look out for the videos because they're ready and they're coming. I just wanted to get this introductory video up for you guys so you knew what the heck was going on while I was in Africa. Yeah, so before the short film I made clicks, like before this video jumps into that, I do want to just explain the purpose of my trip to Ghana, which is that I started a charity called Aarhaus for Hospitals, and it came about when I realized that clinics here in Hungary, if you don't know, I'm a medical student at Semmelweis University, so I work in clinics here. I felt that they were just really underprivileged. Having been born and raised in the US, I was extremely fortunate to have healthcare, quality healthcare services always available to me. And it was just striking, the change. So when I looked into it, I found that actually some of Hungary's hospitals were so below the legal standards of operation that the government actually had to change the legal standards of operation and lower them, which blows my mind. I find that absolutely crazy. So I wanted to donate money to a charity that gave to underprivileged hospitals around the world. And if such an organization exists, I couldn't find it, so I started my own. Hence, Aarhaus for Hospitals was born. I immediately began reaching out to underfunded clinics around the world, and I chose Peace and Love Hospital in Kumasi, Ghana, mainly because of all the things I had read about them in articles online. They do so much for their community. Dr. Beatrice Wiafi-Adai was the woman I stayed with, and she's the woman who invited me to come actually see the hospital that I'm going to be working with through my charity. And she's incredible. She left government hospitals, a government hospital, a stable paying job, to start her own hospital because she felt like the government hospitals weren't providing enough for the people. They were turning people away if they couldn't afford care, and she just didn't believe in that. She didn't think that was right. So she gives free biopsies, healthcare. She lets women stay there. It's actually quite a common misconception in Kumasi, at least. I don't want to speak for all of Africa, but they believe that breast cancer is a form of witchcraft, or it's a curse that the woman brings upon herself. Some even think it's contagious. So I actually met women while I was there who were abandoned by their husband and children and left completely on their own. So Peace and Love Hospital, Dr. Beatrice takes them in and lets them stay at her hospital for free, and she feeds them and takes care of them. And I think that that's wonderful. I think when, you know, you meet somebody who is so selfless, it's important to, you know, I mean, she's doing everything she can to help these people. So you know, you and I should do everything we can to help her. I just think that's our responsibility as people. So that's what I was doing in Africa. I was getting to know the hospital, and I created all these different projects that we're now implementing in order to help fund them so that they can continue doing all the amazing humanitarian work that they do. With that explained, I hope you enjoyed this little short, and I hope it really makes you feel how I felt when I was in Africa. It was definitely one of the more difficult trips that I experienced. So I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm not quite sure how to describe Ghana. When I think of my trip to Africa, I think of plantains.
We're about to try buffalo. I'll just try a little piece. It's good.
Okay.
It's like spongy. It's kind of like a little cake, right?
Yes.
Actually, adjusting to their diet was seamless, but coming back and trying to eat my normal dishes again, I was immediately met with sickness. And whenever I did try to eat, it was bad. For a few days, too. It was hard for me to cope, actually, to be there at first with all my first world assumptions of what happiness is. I would see children playing soccer with a 2-liter water bottle and my heart would break. I wanted to go home after just 2 days. I was so out of my element, and working at the clinic was something out of a bad Google search. The things I saw: fun-gated breast cancer. It was the worst of the worst. I thought I knew poverty and sickness. I've been to other third world countries, but I didn't know poverty and sickness. But now I do. I was being dropped off one night by one of the other volunteers, and we were riding around in this rickety old van through the slums, as she called it, of Africa. She was telling me about the Ashanti people, how they all live together in one big house. Ashantis are one of the many Ghanaian tribes. Anyway, I saw a large group of people all hanging around a fire, and they were laughing and dancing. When I think of Africa, I think of dancing. They were always dancing and singing. I think of acceptance. Everything about Ghanaians was friendly and accepting. I mean, we cut a man off while he was driving, and he didn't flip us off. He just shook his finger in disapproval. No one was rude or snappy or bitchy. Everything is slow. A Ghanaian minute is longer than normal. Try to imagine a world without material items. You'd be picturing Kumasi. And because there's nothing to steal, there's not a lot of crime. No one judges you based on the material things you have, because most people don't have those things. Akwaba means welcome. Medasi means thank you. Ahontise means how are you? And mihoye means I'm fine. The language they speak is called Tree. Children were curious of my light skin and hair, and you flew here on an airplane, a real airplane in the sky? It didn't cross their minds that they can't afford a soccer ball. They just wanted to play, so they played. Why should their lack mean the detriment of their happiness? And I appreciate that lesson. Ghana has a charm too. It's colorful and broken buildings. There's something to be said about hardship. And that something to be said is this: you should not go it alone.
Many hands make light work. Many smiles make life work. And you are always welcome. Aquaba. Sincerely, yeah.